First contact and betrayal. The vast emptiness of space stretched before the UES horizon, humanity's most advanced deep space vessel, as it glided silently through the uncharted Epsilon Eridani system. Commander Sophia Rice stood at the observation deck, her dark eyes reflecting the distant stars as they twinkled against the infinite blackness. 20 years in the Space Force had prepared her for many things, but nothing quite like this mission. Humanity's first venture beyond the comfort of their solar system. "Commander," the ship's AI announced through the overhead speakers, "Lieutenant Park requests your presence on the bridge." They detected something unusual. Sophia straightened her navy blue uniform and headed for the bridge. The corridors of the horizon hummed with activity as the crew of 200 went about their duties with practiced efficiency. As the doors to the bridge slid open, the tension in the air was palpable. "What have we got, Lieutenant?" Sophia asked, approaching the sensor station where Lieutenant Minho Park sat hunched over his console. "An artificial signal, Commander," Park replied, his fingers dancing across the holographic interface. "Definitely not natural. It's coming from the fourth planet in the system." He looked up, excitement evident in his eyes. "It's a repeating pattern, too complex to be random. This could be it, intelligent life." Sophia felt her heartbeat quicken, but maintained her composed exterior. "Show me the signal pattern." The main screen flickered to life, displaying a series of pulses that formed distinct mathematical sequences. Prime numbers, the value of pi, basic geometric ratios, universal constants that any technologically advanced civilization would recognize. "They're broadcasting a beacon," Sophia murmured. "They want to be found." Captain Alexander Novak, the ship's commanding officer, joined them at the console. An old-school military man with a weathered face that spoke of decades in service, Novak had been skeptical about finding anything of value on this mission. "Could be a trap," he cautioned, arms crossed over his broad chest. Sophia nodded. "Or the greatest discovery in human history. Either way, we have our orders. Investigate and report back." Novak sighed. "Plot a course to the fourth planet. Standard approach protocol. And send the first contact package we prepared." The horizon altered its trajectory, its fusion engines pulsing with blue energy as it accelerated toward the mysterious signal source. For 3 days, they'd broadcast humanity's carefully crafted message of peace, mathematical constants, basic scientific principles, and simple pictograms designed to communicate peaceful intentions. On the 4th day, they received a response. "Commander," Park called out, his voice cracking with excitement. "They're responding with similar mathematical sequences, but more complex, and they've added what appears to be navigational data, coordinates for orbital approach." The bridge crew gathered around as the alien transmission continued, now including visual data that resolved into an image on the main screen. Collective gasps filled the bridge. The beings they now faced bore a vague resemblance to Earth's cephalopods, sleek, with multiple limbs, and large, intelligent eyes set in oval-shaped heads. Their skin shimmered with bioluminescent patterns that seemed to shift as they moved. The Valkyrie welcomed the travelers from distant stars. A synthesized voice translated from the alien transmission. "We offer peace and knowledge exchange." Sophia couldn't help the smile that spread across her face. This was why she had joined the Space Force. For moments like this, Captain Novak remained cautious. "Maintain standard orbital distance. Prepare a delegation shuttle. Commander Rice, you'll lead the diplomatic team." Within hours, Sophia found herself aboard a shuttle with science officer Dr. Elena Vasquez, Sanalinguist Dr. Raj Patel, and 2 security officers, descending toward the surface of the alien world. The planet below was a swirl of deep blues and purple landmasses, an ocean world dotted with archipelagos and sprawling cities that glittered like jewels against the dark waters. "It's beautiful," Dr. Vasquez whispered as they broke through the cloud layer. The shuttle touched down on a floating platform that extended from one of the larger island structures. A delegation of 6 Valkyrie waited for them, their bodies pulsing with patterns of light that Dr. Patel suggested might be a form of communication, supplementing their verbal language. Sophia stepped forward, hand raised in the universal gesture of peace. "I am Commander Sophia Rise of the United Earth Ship Horizon. We come in peace as representatives of humanity." The lead Valkyrie moved forward, its movements fluid and graceful. "I am Nexer, first voice of the Valkyrie Harmony. Your arrival was foretold in our stellar observations. We have waited many cycles for contact with other intelligent life." What followed was 12 hours of careful diplomatic exchange. The Valkyrie seemed particularly interested in Earth's location, technology, and defensive capabilities, questions that Sophia answered with diplomatic care, emphasizing cooperation while avoiding strategic details. "Your species has achieved remarkable technological advancement in a relatively short evolutionary timespan," Nexer observed as they toured a Valkyrie research facility. "We would be honored to exchange scientific knowledge." Sophia found the Valkyrie technology both familiar and alien. They had mastered gravitational manipulation and energy conversion at levels far beyond humanity's reach, yet their computational systems seemed oddly primitive. It was as if their technological evolution had followed a completely different path. As the diplomatic meeting continued, Dr. Vasquez pulled Sophia aside. "Commander, something feels off. They keep asking about our defenses, our numbers, our resource distribution. Standard first contact protocols suggest exchanging cultural information first, not military capabilities." Sophia had noticed the same pattern. "Keep smiling, Doctor, but stay alert." That evening, as the human delegation prepared to return to their shuttle for a scheduled check-in with the Horizon, Nexer approached with an unexpected offer. "Before you depart, we wish to share a gift: access to our historical archives. It contains the knowledge of our journey to the stars and may help your people avoid the mistakes we made." The offer was too valuable to refuse, but Sophia's instincts screamed caution. "That's very generous, Dr. Patel, and I will examine your archives while the rest of our team prepares the shuttle." Nexer led them to a circular chamber filled with crystalline structures that pulsed with inner light. "Place your hands on the central crystal. Our knowledge transfer system will do the rest." As Sophia reached toward the crystal, she noticed a subtle shift in the light patterns across Nexer's body, a pattern she hadn't seen before. In that instant, she pulled her hand back and reached for her sidearm. "Dr. Patel, step away from the crystal." Too late. The linguist had already made contact. His body went rigid, eyes wide with pain as energy coursed through him. He collapsed to the floor, convulsing. "What have you done?" Sophia demanded, weapon drawn. Nexer's voice changed, dropping its synthetic pleasantness. "Gathering data. Your neural patterns are interesting. Different from the other species we've harvested." Sophia fired a warning shot past Nexer's head. Harvested. The chamber doors sealed shut as alarms blared throughout the facility. Sophia activated her emergency beacon as she dragged Dr. Patel's unconscious form behind a crystalline pillar. "Captain Novak," she shouted into her communicator, "we've been compromised. The Valkyrie are hostile. Get the ship out of orbit now." The reply came through broken with static. "Commander, multiple Valkyrie vessels, launching from the surface. They're attacking the Horizon. Heavy damage." Sophia's military training took over. With precise shots from her energy pistol, she created a hole in the chamber's exterior wall. The rushing wind nearly sucked them out into the alien atmosphere, but she managed to secure herself and Dr. Patel to a structural beam. Through the gap, she could see the night sky illuminated by weapons fire. The Horizon was engaged in battle with at least 5 Valkyrie warships, its shields flickering under the assault. Using her suit's jetpack, Sophia managed to haul herself and the unconscious scientist to a maintenance platform outside. From there, she spotted their shuttle about 200 meters away, with Dr. Vasquez and one security officer fighting off Valkyrie guards at the entrance. "Hold on, Doctor," she muttered to Patel as she activated her suit's emergency propulsion. The jetpack wasn't designed for atmospheric flight, but it would have to do. They crossed the distance in a chaotic arc, drawing fire from below. The remaining security officer provided covering fire as Sophia crash-landed near the shuttle ramp. "Get him inside," Sophia ordered, handing off paddle to Vasquez, while she returned fire at their pursuers. With everyone aboard, they sealed the hatch. The shuttle pilot, Lieutenant Rodriguez, didn't wait for orders. The engines roared to life as they lifted off, taking heavy fire from Valkyrie weapons that left scorch marks across the hull. The human response. Earth's orbital defense headquarters erupted into focused chaos when the battered shuttle carrying Commander Sophia Reyes and her surviving team dropped out of FTL at the edge of the solar system. The shuttle's distress signal triggered an immediate military response as it limped toward Mars Colony's orbital station, trailing atmosphere and running on emergency power. "Get me a secure channel to the United Earth Defense Council," Admiral Weijong ordered from the command center of the UEDF flagship terminus. His weathered face, lined with the experience of 30 years in space combat simulations, betrayed no emotion as the shuttle's preliminary report scrolled across his display. "And prepare a medical team. We have survivors with critical information." 3 hours later, Sophia Reyes stood before the emergency session of the Defense Council, her uniform still stained with blood, some of it her own, most of it belonging to Dr. Patel, who had died during their desperate journey home. The neural attack by the Valkyrie crystal had caused irreparable brain damage. "The Valkyrie are coming," she stated without preamble, her voice hoarse from exhaustion. "We estimate they're less than 2 months behind us. Their technology exceeds ours in weapons capability, shield strength, and gravitational manipulation. But they have weaknesses." The holographic display behind her activated, showing sensor data and observations her team had gathered during their brief contact. "Their tactics are rigid, almost ritualistic. They expect submission or predictable resistance, and their computing technology lags behind ours. They seem to use organic crystalline interfaces rather than our quantum systems. Most importantly, they've never encountered humans before." Admiral Zhang stepped forward. "Commander Reyes, are you suggesting we can win against a technologically superior force?" Sophia's eyes sparked with determination. "I'm suggesting, Admiral, that humanity's greatest strength has always been unpredictability. The Valkyrie study species, learn their patterns, then exploit their weaknesses, but humans have always excelled at asymmetric warfare. The next 6 weeks saw the greatest mobilization in human history. Every shipyard from Earth to Jupiter's moons worked at maximum capacity, retrofitting civilian vessels with weapons and shields. The Mars Colony's Advanced Research Division, led by Dr. Elena Vasquez, the only surviving scientist from the Horizons delegation, worked tirelessly to develop countermeasures against Valkyrie technology based on the data they had gathered. Sophia, promoted to captain and given command of the newly commissioned UES Defiance, became the tactical coordinator for Earth's primary defense fleet. Her experiences with the Valkyrie made her uniquely qualified to anticipate their strategies. "Standard military doctrine won't work against them," she explained during a strategy session with fleet commanders. "They expect us to form a defensive perimeter around Earth, a logical strategy they've seen from other species. Instead, we're going to scatter our forces throughout the solar system and fight like our ancestors did against superior forces on Earth, with guerrilla tactics." Admiral Zhang nodded in agreement. "Captain Rice has developed what we're calling Operation Scattered Thunder. Instead of meeting the Valkyrie head-on, we'll use our knowledge of the solar system to our advantage." The plan was unconventional. Smaller, faster human ships would use the gravitational fields of planets and moons for slingshot maneuvers. Stealth vessels would hide in the rings of Saturn and the asteroid belt. Automated drone swarms would create false sensor readings to confuse enemy targeting systems. Earth itself would appear lightly defended, a trap to lure the Valkyrie into overconfidence. We know they can track our FTL signatures, Sophia continued, so they'll be expecting us to have followed standard protocol and concentrated our forces near Earth. That's exactly what we won't do. As the preparations continued, Dr. Vasquez made a critical breakthrough. The Valkyrie neural crystal technology, she explained to Sophia during a late-night strategy session aboard the Defiance. It's not just for information extraction. It's how they control their ships. Their vessels are partially organic, piloted through direct neural links. That's why their computing technology seemed primitive. They don't need it. Sophia immediately saw the tactical implications. So their ships are extensions of themselves. Can we disrupt that connection? Dr. Vasquez smiled for the first time since their escape. We already have a prototype. We're calling it the synaptic disruptor. It won't work forever. They'll adapt, but it should give us a temporary advantage. On the 63rd day after Sophia's return, deep space sensors detected multiple FTL signatures approaching from the direction of Epsilon Eridani. The Valkyrie had arrived. As expected, they bypassed the outer defense systems, clearly following the FTL trace from the shuttle's desperate flight home. Their fleet was impressive. 15 capital ships surrounded by smaller escorts, all bearing the distinctive organic geometric design Sophia remembered all too well. They're forming up into attack formation, reported Lieutenant Commander Ortiz, the Defiance's tactical officer. Looks like they're heading straight for Earth, just as you predicted, Captain. Sophia watched the tactical display with measured calm. All ships maintain position. Let them make the first move. The Valkyrie fleet advanced deeper into the solar system, encountering only token resistance from automated defense platforms that quickly retreated after minor engagements. To the aliens, it must have seemed that humanity was falling back to defend their homeworld. Exactly as expected. They're entering the Mars orbital zone, Ortiz announced. No deviation from their course. Earth remains their primary target. Sophia opened a fleet-wide channel. All ships, prepare to execute scattered thunder on my mark. Remember your assignments and timing. Unpredictability is our ally. The Valkyrie fleet approached Earth with methodical precision, their formation a perfect geometric pattern that human military analysts recognized from ancient battlefield tactics, a wedge designed to break through defensive lines. They're scanning our orbital defenses, reported Ortiz. Their weapons are powering up. Sophia allowed herself a tight smile. Let them make the first move. The lead Valkyrie vessel fired a brilliant beam of energy that sliced through space toward Earth's orbital defense station. At the last possible moment, the station activated its newly installed gravitational deflector, technology reverse-engineered from the Valkyrie's own systems. The energy beam curved harmlessly away, dissipating into space. Now, Sophia commanded. Across the solar system, humanity's scattered forces sprang into action. From the dark side of Earth's moon, a squadron of stealth fighters launched, their engines modified to leave minimal heat signatures. From the asteroid belt, mining vessels retrofitted with military-grade weapons emerged from hiding places inside hollowed-out asteroids. From the rings of Saturn, specialized intercept vessels used the ice fragments as cover to approach undetected. The Valkyrie fleet reacted with visible confusion, their perfect formation wavering as threats appeared from all directions. Synaptic disruptors online. Dr. Vasquez reported from the science station, targeting the Valkyrie flagship. Focused beams of modulated energy struck the largest Valkyrie vessel, penetrating its shields, which had been calibrated to stop conventional weapons, not the specific frequency the human scientists had designed to interfere with neural connections. The effect was immediate and dramatic. The massive alien ship began to drift, its weapon systems firing randomly as the neural link between ship and crew destabilized. All fighter groups concentrate on their escort vessels, Sophia ordered. Capital ships target their propulsion systems. Remember, we don't need to destroy them all. Just create enough chaos to break their formation. Human vessels swarmed around the larger Valkyrie ships, using their smaller size and greater maneuverability to avoid direct confrontation, while landing precision strikes against vulnerable points. It wasn't a fair fight. The Valkyrie technology was still superior, but humanity wasn't fighting fair. Aboard her flagship, Sophia watched as the battle unfolded across the solar system. The Valkyrie were adapting as expected. Already their ships were adjusting shields to counter the synaptic disruptors. But the initial confusion had cost them dearly. "They're trying to regroup," Ortiz reported. "Looks like they're falling back to form a defensive perimeter around their damaged flagship." Sophia nodded. "As predicted. Phase 2, Admiral." Admiral Zhang's voice came through the comms. "Executing now, Captain. Well done on Phase 1. From Earth's surface, a barrage of launch signatures appeared as humanity revealed its unexpected advantage. Not superior technology, but superior numbers. Thousands of small, single-pilot vessels rose into orbit, each armed with rudimentary but effective weapons. These weren't military craft, but converted atmospheric vehicles, a hidden reserve that the Valkyrie sensors hadn't detected because they had been powered down until this moment. "Civilian volunteer corps is away," Zhang confirmed. "Operation Swarm commencing." The Valkyrie, already struggling to counter the unconventional attacks from the military vessels, now faced a cloud of smaller craft attacking from Earth itself. Their tactical systems, designed to counter organized military formations, struggled to track the seemingly chaotic movements of thousands of independent pilots. "They're breaking formation," Ortiz announced, unable to keep the excitement from his voice. "The smaller Valkyrie vessels are scattering." Sophia leaned forward in her command chair. "Now we press the advantage. All capital ships target their command vessel. Dr. Vasquez, maximum power to the synaptic disruptors." The Defiance and its sister ships concentrated their fire on the Valkyrie flagship, which was still recovering from the initial neural disruption. Human fighters cleared a path through the disorganized escort vessels, creating an opening for the final assault. On the main view screen, Sophia watched as combined weapons fire from 3 human capital ships struck the Valkyrie flagship's propulsion section. The alien vessel's organic hull material ruptured, releasing a burst of energy that cascaded through its systems. Secondary explosions followed as the chain reaction spread. "Target neutralized," Ortiz confirmed as the Valkyrie flagship broke apart in a spectacular display of light and debris. Without their command center, the remaining Valkyrie ships fell into further disarray. Some continued fighting with increasingly desperate tactics, while others attempted to retreat. None escaped. The combined forces of humanity's military and civilian vessels ensured that not a single Valkyrie ship survived to report back to their homeworld. 3 days later, Sophia stood at the observation deck of the Defiance, watching as repair crews worked to rebuild the damaged sections of Earth's orbital station. Admiral Zhang joined her, his uniform now decorated with additional medals from the emergency field promotion ceremony held after the battle. "The Defense Council is already planning a counteroffensive," he informed her. "We'll take the fight to the Valkyrie, use their FTL signatures to find their homeworld." Sophia continued staring out at the Earth below. "Is that wise? We won this battle, but they still have technological advantages, and we don't know how large their civilization is." Zhang smiled grimly. "That's why you've been promoted to Admiral, Reyes. You'll be leading the mission. Your experience with the Valkyrie and your unconventional thinking are exactly what we need." Sophia turned to face him, surprise evident in her expression. "Me? I'm not sure I'm qualified for." "The Valkyrie thought they were hunting easy prey," Zhang interrupted. "Instead, they found humanity. Adaptable, unpredictable, and fiercely protective of our home. We need leadership that understands that's our greatest strength." As Sophia looked back toward Earth, she thought about the crew of the Horizon, about Dr. Patel, and all the others who had died in humanity's first encounter with the Valkyrie. They deserved justice. More importantly, Earth deserved protection from any future threats. "I'll need to select my own command staff," she said finally. "And I want Dr. Vasquez leading the science division." Zhang nodded. Already arranged. The UEA's vengeance will be ready in 3 weeks. It incorporates everything we've learned about Valkyrie technology. As the Admiral left, Sophia remained at the viewport, her thoughts turning to the journey ahead. The Valkyrie had sought to study humanity as specimens, cataloging them like all the other species they had encountered and likely conquered. They had expected submission or predictable resistance. What they hadn't expected was humanity's remarkable ability to unite against a common threat, to improvise with whatever resources were available, and to turn apparent weaknesses into strengths. The Valkyrie had superior technology and military discipline, but humans had creativity, adaptability, and an unbreakable will to survive. The battle for Earth was over. Now, humanity would take the fight to the stars, not as conquerors, but as defenders, ensuring that no species would ever again mistake Earth's inhabitants for easy prey. As she watched the sun rise over the planet below, Sophia Rice, humanity's newest admiral, allowed herself a moment of pride. The Valkyrie had come hunting for specimens and instead found warriors. They had sought to add another conquered species to their collection and instead awakened a force they could never have anticipated. Humanity had answered the challenge not just with firepower, but with the indomitable spirit that had carried them from cave-dwelling ancestors to a spacefaring civilization. And now, that same spirit would carry them further still, out into the galaxy, ready to face whatever came next.